Because future-looking statements are inherently subject to risk and uncertainty, our reminder is that you should make any purchasing decisions or investment decisions based on products that are currently commercially available.
Hi, my name is Farhan Tahir. I'm a VP of Product Management here at Salesforce. Today, I am super excited to be talking to you about something that is changing the world of modern app development or app acceleration, an area that I'm super passionate about, LowCodeLove. As the world around us is changing rapidly, trailblazers need to innovate fast to keep up with their business requirements and their business needs. And this means they need to build applications fast. The reality is pretty applications can be built using a lot of code, but there are significant limitations, especially when it comes to scalability and to make edits to future-proof those applications. Modern applications need to be flexible. They need to adapt and change by design. This can be delivered with a component-based architecture and, of course, low code. At Salesforce, we are obsessed with building low-code platform because we know that low-code applications deliver for the businesses by being fast, empowering everybody, and because it is built on the platform you build with trust. I am so excited to introduce to you dynamic forms and dynamic actions. These features are game changers. Built into the Lightning App Builder, you'll know you'll be able to quickly customize pages and create personalized experiences for your business needs. And we've made it easy to migrate too. Let's take a quick look at the demo.
Hi there, I'm Shubh Baragi. I'm an Associate Product Manager on Platform. What I'm going to show you today is how to make your end users more productive while saving your admins time. Let's get started. I want you to imagine that you are a salesperson, a car salesperson, and you open up Salesforce, you log in, and you see this vehicle object page. Now, this page is important to you because it tracks the entire lifecycle of your main product, your cars, from the evaluation stage to the ownership stage. It has all the information you could possibly need. Now ask yourself, as an end user, as a salesperson, why? Why are you on this page? Well, you're here to extract important information quickly so you can use that information to close deals. And that's where you can see the problem arise. Because this page and your goal of getting information quickly, getting in and out, are disconnected. There's too much information. When you're in a time crunch, it's difficult to focus on the handful of fields that are the most important to you. We're going to solve this pain point. Let's take this page and let's re-envision it with dynamic forms and actions. And we're going to do a side-by-side comparison here. Left is traditional, right is upgraded. And you're going to notice a few differences. What instantly pops out here is the simplicity of the right-hand side. Same information, but it's split up. It's placed appropriately. It's more readable. It's less cluttered. Now, this alone is going to make you more efficient as the end user. But what's really interesting here is the logic running the show behind the scenes. Visibility rules. Let me show you a few examples here. When I change status from evaluation to purchase, pay close attention. I'm going to save, and you're going to notice a couple of sections disappear. Only what's relevant remains, the purchasing details. Let's continue on our journey. When the status is manufacturing, manufacturing details appear, everything else vanishes. Now, let's say you move from manufacturing to delivery. Pay close attention to this area on the highlights panel. We're going to save, and you're going to notice a new action called customer follow-up appears on the highlights panel. It doesn't appear too early. It doesn't appear too late. It's just on time, exactly when you need it. Let me pause for a second here. This is how we're hitting that value add of efficiency. We're surfacing relevant information at the right place, at the right time, and literally guiding our end users in a step-by-step fashion. Now, I bet as an admin right now, your top questions are, how do I make this happen? And how will this save me time? Okay, let's open up Lightning App Builder for our vehicle page, and we're going to go from start to finish in 3 steps. Now you're going to open it up and you're going to see guardrails. Guardrails just highlight best practices for admins. In this case, it's recommending that we upgrade to dynamic forms using a migration wizard. This takes us to step 1, migration. Let's go ahead and use this wizard to migrate from this traditional layout to dynamic forms. And in a few seconds, this migration is complete. If you click on any one of these fields, you'll notice the migration process preserves every field's metadata, every field's designation of read-only required. We really want this migration to be as seamless as possible. Okay, step 2. Let's quickly rearrange the fields and sections. Let's place them within appropriate tabs. Really, we just want to craft a more readable experience for our end users. Now, let's say in this process, I accidentally delete a field. Well, no problem. I can access a library of the fields on the left and revive any field of my choosing. This is also where you can create a custom section from scratch. Okay, step 3, let's create some visibility rules. For this customization section, we had a couple of visibility rules, and they went like this. Hide this section when status is purchasing. Hide this section when status is manufacturing. Okay, if you recall, we had another visibility rule on this action customer follow-up. It's very similar reasoning here. If status equals delivery, then this action customer follow-up shows up. Let's take it up a notch. Let's say your end users come to you and they say, when I'm on my phone, I don't need all of this information. Let's honor that request. You don't need a new layout. You just need to set a single rule by device. All right, here it is. It says if you're on desktop, you will see the section. If you're on mobile, you won't. Simple, done. Let's keep it going. Let's say you're the admin and sales manager comes up to you and says, I really liked Shub's demo at TrailheadDX, but that customer follow-up action, it made me uneasy. I have experienced salespeople where this would be great, but I also have rookie salespeople who are in the learning phase, and I don't want my rookies to see this action just quite yet. Traditionally, this would require a completely new page layout, which is not trivial at all. But with dynamic forms and actions, it boils down to a single rule. And I can show that to you right now. It says if a user has the permission channel sales, then and only then will this user see this customer follow-up action. Okay, let's take a step back here and let's review everything we've done. How did we make this happen? Well, we've taken our traditional layout for vehicle, and first, we've seamlessly upgraded it via in-app guidance. Secondly, we've rearranged the fields for formatting and increased readability. And lastly, we've set visibility rules based on other records, the characteristics of the user, and our devices of choice. We've done this in a matter of minutes. Let's pause for a second here. This is how we're hitting that second value add of time saving for admins. Think about it. Imagine your Salesforce today. As an admin, you have to maintain several slightly different versions of the same page, different versions to support different profiles. While with dynamic forms and actions, a single page can be customized in a way that sales sees what's relevant to sales, but also HR sees what's relevant to HR, again, in a single page. And I want to end by asking you a question. You've seen how dynamic forms and actions make end users more productive, save admins time. Now I want to invite you to explore the possibilities. How can dynamic forms and actions empower your company, empower your admins, empower your end users? Thank you so much for listening, and back to you, Farhan.
With dynamic forms and dynamic actions, users are more efficient. Admins save time managing layout. These features are built on low code, quick and easy to implement, and provide for deep granularity. In the fourth industrial revolution, digital transformation and change management are not just about the technology and software. It is much more about the users and the people who benefit and use these technologies and how they can be incorporated into the process. Introducing In-App Guidance with Walkthroughs. It accelerates jobs end users are trying to do by embedding learning right within their daily activities. Let's have Tim walk us through a quick demo.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim Dubois and I'm the product manager for the In-App Guidance product at Salesforce. Welcome to the Summer 20 release of In-App Guidance that is now featuring walkthroughs. In-App Guidance is exciting because it lets you embed the learning directly into the app where it has the most context for the user. In this case, we can create walkthroughs to help onboard the users to the vehicle order page and ensure they have a complete understanding of their specific view of the page, and that's channel sales versus direct sales. What we're going to do is provide two walkthroughs, one for the direct sales users and one for the channel sales users. And we can target the users based on the custom permissions that you saw previously in the Dynamic Forms demo. Okay, let's get started. You'll notice that in the In-App Guidance setup page, it's much the same as it was in the previous release. You will now see walkthroughs as a type of guidance, otherwise very similar functionality as before with views, completes, and also row-level actions like cloning. So let's take a look at the direct sales walkthrough that we've already created by selecting preview to see how it looks. Now, the first step of the walkthrough is highlighting the important summary information at the top of the page, as well as in the Quick Access tab. Clicking Next opens a second step that explains the Stage-Dependent tab. Here the information displayed is dependent upon the status of the path to help reduce clutter in the UI and only show the relevant information for that status. As I move the status from evaluation to purchase, you'll note the update. Clicking Next again brings you to the last step, explaining how you can make updates inline quickly. For example, in the purchasing section, you can make some updates and see that the prompt will stay in place. It won't go away until you dismiss it. Now there's also a call to action link. In this case, we call it Learn More, and it will open the new browser tab, directing them to more information. You can add links to my Trailhead or any other URL to drive users to more information. All right, so this is great for our direct sales users, but we know that the channel sales users have some differences in their page layout due to the cool dynamic forms layout. We need to create an alternate walkthrough for them so we can ensure that they are aware of the unique differences for their view. Since this walkthrough is so close to what we need, let's clone it. Okay, once we click clone, we instantly have a working copy to start modifying. We are already in the authoring UI, and you can see the 3 steps we just previewed. Notice the new builder in the Summer 20 release. There is a right panel to choose a type of prompt for each setup and author your content. Then there's a panel on the left that shows each step. The rest of the app is running in the middle, and you can just navigate around the app. We saw in the Dynamic Forms demo that the channel sales users will see a custom action appear when they get to this delivery status. Let's ensure that the users are aware of that action in the Highlights panel by adding a new step in their walkthrough. Choose Step 2, then click Add Step to add a new Step 3 to the top center. Let's choose Floating Prompt and give it a title, Ensure to Follow Up. And then we can also give it some body text, letting them know what to click on. The first step in the final settings is the optional action link. If you want to drive users to more action, add the label and link here, and it will show up on that last step of the walkthrough. The remaining steps are the same from the previous release. The scheduling lets you determine a start date, optional end date, and how many times to show and delay between each time. The profiles and permissions allow you to identify the subgroup of users to target with the walkthrough. It's the permissions, which is where we're going to make the change to target the channel sales users. We're going to deselect direct sales and instead select channel sales. The activation is where you give the name, description, and decide if it's active when you save it. Let's go ahead and rename this one. We'll also update the API name. And that's it. That's how easy it is to clone and create a walkthrough. Okay, I'm already logged in as Carlos on this other screen. Carlos is a channel sales user. Once I refresh, I should see this new walkthrough show up. This walkthrough will only show for users that have the custom channel sales permission. The first 2 steps are the same as before, but now there is a new step 3 showing for the channel sales users that highlight the new custom action called Customer Follow-Up. The last step is the same as before. And no demo will be complete, as you guessed it, without a little bit of confetti. And that's it. That's all there is to cloning and creating a new walkthrough. As you can see, creating In-App Guidance with single prompts or walkthroughs is simple and quick. It's all done with clicks. And remember, there's no browser plugin, security issues, or performance impacts. It's all built into the platform. And by the way, all the guidance is fully translatable, packageable, and reportable via custom reports. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the new In-App Guidance walkthroughs.
As you just saw, In-App Guidance accelerates user productivity by putting learning right within the application. It is built on top of our platform using clicks, no code, and it is fully reportable, translatable, and packageable. We will be GAing dynamic forms and actions in the Winter 21 release and continuing the LowCodeLove momentum by bringing these features to standard objects in mobile in the Spring 21 and Summer 21 releases, respectively. Similarly, the user learning journeys will continue to benefit from features like walkthrough, prompt theming and branding, videos and images in prompts and walkthroughs, and support for communities coming up in future releases. Want to learn more? Check out these trails on Trailhead or download our new architecture guide, Clicks to Code. Thank you everybody so much for joining me today as I talked about low code. I want to say a special thank you to all the trailblazers out there who are helping us continue to build momentum around app acceleration and app development with LowCodeLove. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salut!
G'day.
Hello, Chicago, Ohana.
Vanakkam.
Hello.
Hello from Canberra.
Grüß Gott zusammen.
Namaskar.
Accenture has always made our people a top priority, but with over 20,000 Salesforce professionals, traditional training methods just weren't enough. Combining research, strategy, and technology, we created our Forever Learning program. We use tools like MyTrailhead, and with a global network of champions, mentors, and study squads, Accenture is transforming our learning culture. Culture change starts with a conversation. To learn more about bringing Forever Learning to your company, visit accenture.com/Salesforce.
From Pep-Up Tech to Maravis to Salesforce Saturdays, Rad Women Who Code, Ladies Be Architects, and Super Moms, and the many, many other workforce development programs driven by our communities, I get to work with the leaders of leaders who use their powers for good to fight economic inequality. How do we do that? We do that by giving opportunities to those who would not normally have access to level themselves up via Salesforce. And we need your help. We need volunteers to mentor them. We need donations so that the programs can run. And we need jobs. We need Salesforce customers and partners to hire these resourceful, resilient problem solvers, because that's when the real change starts. That's when they're able to rise up and live their best lives. Investing in these rising stars is not only the right thing to do, it's the logical thing to do. I hope you'll join us. Let's make change together.